Hey there everyone, this is Iram here and I hope that you all are doing well. Today we are going to create a landing page using Bulma, and in the past two videos we have learned a lot of things from the Bulma documentation. Bulma is a new framework. It's not new, it's another framework like Bootstrap, and as I've told you earlier before in the previous videos that we will create landing page or a project using the knowledge we have gained from Bulma documentation. And here is the landing page, and this landing page is completely made in Bulma. We haven't used any kind of CSS. It is responsive also, and in future we will use Bulma extensions to create another landing page. So this is just a simple landing page using Bulma, just the knowledge we have gained from the tutorial. I just want to put it in some shape, and here is the landing page. So here is the logo, the navigation bar, the search option, and then this is a hero section, about us, then the services and team section, contact with embedded map, and a footer. Okay, so let's start working with this one. I'm using VS Code editor, so whatever code editor you have, go ahead with that. I already created a folder, Bulma tutorial, and within this folder I do have images. The images I have used here, I've got these images from pexels.com, and let me close it now. Then I would like to go back to my editor, and here I do have the images folder. Then now I would like to create an index.html page. We don't need any other page. We just want to work with this page. First of all, I would like to get the starter template. So for that, I'm here at bulma.io, the website of Bulma. Here in the documentation, I would like to go, let's go in the start, overview, start, and it has different options. We can use the, as I've told you in the beginning in the tutorial, we can use CDN. We can install it by npm GitHub repository RTL version. But what I'm going to do now, I just want to get this starter template. Okay, let me copy this one and let me paste it here. So here is the starter template, and let me save it, and let me use my live server. So open the live server, and here is the Bulma page starter template. Like the title of this starter template is Hello Bulma, Hello World, my first website with Bulma. Sorry, I forgot to show you the responsiveness of this one. So the project, so let me show you that, and then we will continue working with that. Here is the menu, the responsive menu with that search option, the hero section, about us, and the images. You can see everything stacked nicely on top of each other. So it's mean that it works, and it's wonderful. Bulma is worthy. If you would like to work with this and want to create something by using Bulma, go ahead. It increases your it's an additional framework. It's gonna include in your include your skills value, so you can add it in your portfolio too. Okay, so the Bulma, what I'm gonna do, I just wanna remove this title, and here let's see, Bulma tutorial, sorry. Okay, and here I just want to remove this section. Okay, let me save it. I would like to add font awesome icons, because I have used the font awesome icons here in the footer section. So for that, for you, just go to Google fontawesome.com, and from here you guys just fulfill the requirements, whatever they need, and they are, now it is let's go to the start for free. So mention your email address, follow the instructions, and you will get the code. I've already saved mine. I don't want to repeat this process, so I just want to copy my code I've got from them before, and here is the font awesome icon. Link the CDN of this I do have. If you want to download, you can download it. Let me close it too. Then the Google fonts. So the font I would like to add is Open Sans, and here I just want to go with 400 regular, and let's go with the bold 600. Okay, I'm gonna do from here. I just want to get the link. Okay, let me copy this. If you want to download it, you can download it too. I'm not downloading it here, and only for this purpose I need CSS. Sorry. And CSS rules to specify. Okay, let me copy this, and here I am. Even I can import, but I don't want to do that. It says okay, and it shouldn't be like this, you know, it has to be in the body. Save it, and here save it, but you know what, let me add this CSS also. So it's gonna be link related to style sheet, and href is gonna be main.css. Save it. Okay, now if we go back, let me close this one, and here is the here is this is the one tab we are going to fill it with all these things. Okay, so let's start working with this. First of all, we would like to go with a nav bar, so let's have a nav, and I have explanation everything, so I don't think that I need to. If I think there is anything to explain in detail, I will. Otherwise, I have to explain each and everything in the tutorial. If you haven't watched the tutorial yet, go back and search in the content on this channel, and you guys will get that Bulma tutorial. Okay, so the class is gonna be nav bar and has background. The way of defining classes in Bulma is we have to use some prefixes like has, is. Okay, so here we are using has background, and the background should be link light. This is the color I'm using it. Then the role is gonna be navigation. Okay, and area label is gonna be main navigation. Okay, then let's create a div inside it, assign it a class. This class is gonna be container, and let's create another div, assigning it a class. This is gonna be nav bar brand for logo or title of the web page. Link href, and that's index.html. Let's have a class. The class is gonna be nav bar item. Here again the prefix is, and size is gonna be 3. Then we should say company name. Let's add a button here. the hamburger. So for the button, let's use a class. Class is gonna be button nav bar burger, and let's say data target, and the data target is gonna be nav menu. Okay, let's use some span elements here, and only some blank spans to create those 3 lines or that hamburger menu. So copy this here and here, save it. So after having these span elements or the span blank, we don't need to add anything here. Then we have to create another div. This div is gonna have a class of nav bar menu. Assign it an ID. ID is gonna be nav menu, and let's create a div assigning it a class. Class is gonna be nav bar start. Link href, and I'm not adding any link here. So let's see, nav bar item. It's gonna be home, and I just want to copy and paste it for several times to get my other links. And here I would like to add about, then services, team, contact. Save it. Let's move on to the browser. Okay, so you can see here, it's the nav bar is done. It's not finished yet. We need to work, and you can see the hamburger menu. But when I click on it, we cannot see anything. We need, as I've told you before in the tutorial, that it doesn't comes with the Bulma doesn't come with the extensions with JavaScript. Sorry, not with the extension, with JavaScript. So we have to add some other external code of JavaScript into this. Okay, there isn't any built-in code within Bulma, so we have to add some external code. We will do that. Then after this, what we have to do, we need to create another div with a class of nav bar end, and let's create another div. Class is gonna be nav bar start, and within this, sorry, not nav bar start, sorry, it should be nav bar item. It shouldn't be start, my apologies. Nav bar item, and then within this, let's create a form, and this is for the search bar. So for this, let's have another div, assigning it a class. It's gonna be field, and the field has, as I've told you, we do need to use these add-ons. Div class control is expanded, and let's use input. Type is gonna be search, and let's use name here. The name is also gonna be search. Let's use a class. Class is gonna be input. ID is gonna be search, and let's use a placeholder. So no, it shouldn't be. Oops, hold on. Placeholder, and the placeholder is gonna be search again. Let's use aria label, and it's also going to be search. Let's close it and move on to another div. This div is going to be class. Control. And then we do need a button. So the button type is going to be submit. And class should be button. Number 2 button is info, the color, and let's use the search here. Okay, save it, move on to the browser, and here is the search form we have. So let's go, and yeah, again it's not, we cannot see this, otherwise I want to show you. But I will add it, don't worry about it. I'll show you how to add that JavaScript function. Then after, let's go and make this hero section. So for the hero section, again, what I'm gonna do, I just want to add here, I should say end of the nav bar, and let's say hero start and hero ends. Okay, so let's create a section here, section element, and okay, section element, let's create a class to this section. Class is gonna be hero, and I'm using the medium hero. Let me show you that we do have different kinds of heroes here. Heroes in the layout. Here in the layout we have hero, and you can see that hero title. This is the code we can define the heroes. I have used the medium hero, so these are the colors and these are the sizes. So I have used the medium one, and we have the large one, half height 0 and full height hero. Sorry, not 0, half height hero and full height hero. So here we are going to use the medium one. Hero is medium. I need to add is prefix, and is the color is gonna be is info. We can add the image also. Here the div has a class. Class is gonna be hero body, and let's add a p element, assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be title size, and the title size is gonna be title, and is size. I'm just thinking about Bootstrap and not using the prefixes here. So let's say your title code here, and let's create another p element, assigning it a class. This is gonna be subtitle, and is size 3, and let's see, tagline here. Okay, save it, move on to the browser. Here is the, not this one, sorry, this one. So here is the nav bar and the hero, medium hero, with the title and with the tagline. The next thing we have to cover is this about us. Let's move on and start working with this about us. So here we are. After this, let's say it's easy, right? It's not difficult. Bulma is a nice framework. And end of about us. You guys just give it a try, it's a good one. Section element, and let's have a class, and let's say section. Then let's add a div here. The div is div contains a container, and then after we do need to use a heading 2. Heading 2 should have a class. The class is gonna be title and is 1. Let's say has text centered, and the text is gonna be about us. Save it. Moving on to the browser, and the text is centered. Okay. Go back. What we have to do next is let's create another div, and this div have a class of content. Okay. And let's provide the content. The content we are going to create is lorem ipsum. Let's do 25 words. Okay. And let's create another p element or another paragraph. Again, I would like to go with lorem. Let's go with 30 words, and that's it. Save it. Move on to the browser, and here is the content. I would like to add some more content in this one, so let me copy this thing from here. Save it. Okay, that's looking cool. After this, what we have to do, we do need to add these 2 images with some details and these with the buttons. Okay, so what we have to do here is to create columns. Okay, so for the columns, I would like to create another div, assigning it a class. The class is gonna be columns, and within this, here in Bulma, as I've told you, if you guys haven't watched that videos, let me tell you that columns we use, as we use rows in Bootstrap, we use columns here in Bulma. Okay, and within these columns we use column. Okay, here this is the plural one, and now we are going to use the singular one. So here the next is gonna be column. Okay, then after, let's choose another div, assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be columns is desktop. Okay, and then we do need to add another div, assigning it a class, and it's gonna be column. Okay, and let's use the figure element to add the image, and let's say class is gonna be image, and is 1 by 1. I have defined all these things there. I'm gonna give the link of the tutorial in the iCard, so you guys must check if you can't understand anything or if anything is strange for you. I've defined each and every element of this Bulma documentation or the code over there in those video tutorials. So let's add an image here, and the image is gonna be source. Let's say images, and it should have, I do have an image. My image I have used here is image 2, and let's close it. So save it, and let me show you what's going on here. Okay, so such a big image I have here. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I have made a mistake because the image is too big, so it is image. The class name is image, IMAGE, not IMG. And okay. Now let's do something else. That something else is, let's create another div, and class, and it's gonna be column content. So it will fix our image also. Give it a proper shape, like the proper style, not the shape. Heading 2, and it has a class title, and it's gonna be what we do. And then let's use a p element. It's lorem ipsum text of 40 words. Okay, now let's create a button here. After this, let's create button, and the type of this button is gonna be button, and class we have to use is again button, and there is a color, so is info, the info color we have used. Let's say read more, save it. Okay, looking cool. Let's create another one, another image and some other text. So for that, I'm going to do here, let's create another div, assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be column. Within this column, I would like to create another div. It's gonna be class of columns is desktop, and then we do need a div assigning it a class. This class is gonna be column, and let's use a figure here. Class is gonna be image, and again the image is gonna be is 1 by 1, and then after we do need to create an image here. Add an image, not to create, just add an image, and this image is gonna be image 3. And then after this, let's use another div assigning it a class, and column content. Then what we do need to do next is heading 2, the class of title, and who we are. Let's use a p element here, and again I've used 40 words over there, so let me use the same. And let's add a button here again. Type is gonna be button, class is gonna be button, and we do need to add the color is info, and then we have to use read more. Save it, move on to the browser. Okay, so it's looking cool and nice. Let's go to the responsiveness of this section. So it is responsive. You can see that the hero section and about us and what we do with the image button, and this section is also looking cool. Let's move on to the next one, where we have to add this services section and these two images with some details. Okay, so here again I would like to add, what should it be? It is services start, and let me see, services, and it is services. Okay, so let's have a section element first, and within this section element we do have a class of section. Let's use a div, assigning it a class. This class is gonna be container. Let's use heading 2. Class is gonna be title and is 1. Title is gonna be is 1 and has, of course, text centered. And let's use services we provide. Okay. Then after this, let's have another div assigning it a class. This class is gonna be columns. Another div assigning it a class. And this is gonna be column. Okay, if you don't understand these columns, let me explain you again that in Bootstrap we use rows. Okay, so just think these columns as a row, and within this row we are defining the column. Okay, then we do need this is how Bulma works. Okay, and here is figure. Let's add a figure, and figure should have an image, then image and source images, and the image is going to be image 1. Then let's use some, you guys can add the alternative of this thing, whatever you want. Then we need to add some figure caption and p element with some lorem ipsum, and this could be, let's use 35 or 30 words. Okay, then after let's have another div, and this div has a class of column, and then after let's have a figure again with a class of image. Then we do need another image. Source of this image is gonna be images and image 4. And then I do need to add some alt text. So okay, what we need next is figure caption. So figure caption, fig caption, and within this let's have a p element, text of 30 or 35 words. I don't remember. I think I have used 35 words there. It's okay. You guys got the idea. Let's save it. Move on to the browser. Here is the one we are working with. Okay, so here we are. So the services we provided, services or service we provide. So let's fix this thing only. Let's see, services. And okay, so we have done with this one. The next we have to do is we have to add this team section. So let's go back and let's add the team section. Team section and end of team section. Okay, so let's start creating this one. Should have a section. Section, assign it a class. The class is gonna be section. Then after we need a div, assigning it a class. The class is gonna be container. Then we need an heading 2, assigning it a class. This class is going to be title is 1 and has text centered is spaced, and it should be our team. Let me bring it down. Let's create another div. This div should have a class of columns and is multi-line. Let's have another div, assigning it a class, and this is gonna be column is have tablet and is 1/3 desktop and is quarter. Let's say is 1/4 widescreen. Okay, and we should say has text centered. Let's close this div. Let's create another div, assigning it a class, and we have to use cards here. Show the card, and it should have another class. This is gonna be called image, image. Then we need a figure, and within this, let's have another class. It's gonna be image is 4/3. Okay, and within this, let's use image source, and it's gonna be images. Images have a team JPG. Alt text, it's gonna be nothing for the moment, and let's close this. Okay, then after this, let's have a div, assign it a class, and this class is gonna be called content. Okay, and after this called content, let's have another div, assigning it a class. This class is gonna be media content p element class, and it is gonna be title is 4. Should go with John Smith. Let's have another p element with another class, and it's gonna be subtitle is 6 and add John Smith. Okay, what we have to do next is to create another div, assigning it a class. This class is also going to be content, and let's add some lorem ipsum of 5 words. Okay, we have done with this one. Let's move on to the browser and see what is it. Okay, so we do have a card with a title, image, and some content. Okay, what I'm gonna do next is to copy and paste the same thing. So just for my convenience, I should add a kind of a separator here. Okay, and from here I want to copy this, not that div, I just need to copy this div. Copy this, and here I'm pasting it. Save it. Let's see. Okay, let's save another one. Cool. Let's have another one too, and this is the last one. So what we have to do next is, let me show you. Okay, so we have done with our theme section. Now let's change the images. So just for the completeness of this project, I just wanna save these images. I just want to add the different images here, and 3 and 2, and it looks different and looks good. So here we are, and so you guys can see that we do have nice images, nice theme section. Now the next thing we need to create is this contact section and the footer. So let's go ahead and start working with the contact one. Here we are, and yes, so let's start creating the contact section. Let's create a section element here and assign it a class. The class is gonna be section. Then after, let's have a div assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be container, and we do need heading 2 assigning it a class. This is gonna be title is 1 and has text centered. Then what we have to do next is to add a text, and it's not, sorry, it is gonna be contact. After adding this, let's have a div, and this div should have a class. This class is gonna be columns and is tablet, not tab, okay, is tablet. And then what we do next is another div assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be column. Then after this we do need heading 4. Heading 4 should have a class, and the class is gonna be title. And then after, let's add address. Let me bring it here. Okay, then we need a address tag, and within this address, let's say strong and company name. Then after this, let's go and have some break here, and then after, let's use the street name again. Let's give it a line break, and zip code, and city, again break, and let's use a font awesome icon class here. So FA font, and let's add a, let's add a link here, and there should be a number. So okay, and then after, let's use the number again. So let me use my country code, and the number is gonna be, okay, let's add a BR. Then after this, let's have another class, and this class is gonna be FE envelope, and what I'm gonna do here is to close it and a link. So can add anything, whatever you guys want, just seem like that. And mail and whatever, or let me add email. Okay, and here we should go that info@test.com. okay, and then the next thing is gonna be nothing. Let's go back to the browser and let's see. Okay, so address, company name, street, zip code, city, phone, and email. Okay, the next thing we need is another div, and this div should be here. Let's add a class. This class is gonna be column, and let's use heading 4. Have a class of title, and opening hours should have a colon here, and let's use a p element and say Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, and it should be 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and let's add some break, and we should say that hold on, this should be Friday, and we should say that Saturday. Okay, Saturday is off, and then let's add Sunday. Sunday should be afternoon, p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, and let's add some language too. Okay, let's save it, move on to the browser and see. Okay, so we do have the opening hours and the address, and what's next? Let's use this form and the map. So for this, what I'm gonna do, I just want to add another div. This div should have a class of columns. Let's add another div with a class of column, heading 4 class, and it's gonna be title, send us a message, and then after this, let's add a form. Div, class is gonna be columns, another div, class is gonna be column. Let's add another div. Class is gonna be field, label, and label should have a class of label. For name, and let's add a name here. Then the next thing we need is another div, and this div should have a class. This class is gonna be control and has icons left. Now let's use the input, and type is gonna be text. Then let's use ID. ID is gonna be name. And class is gonna be input. Let's use a placeholder, and this placeholder should have a first name and first name, and then we should say required. Okay, first name required. And then after this, let's use the span element, span, assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be icon is small and is left. Then let's use I class if is if a user. Save it, move on to the browser. Let's have another div, and this div is gonna be column. Div class is gonna be column, another div, and this class is gonna be field. Let's use label. Class is gonna be label. For email, and email, and then after let's use a div here. Class is gonna be control and has icons left. Let's use input, and input should have a type. It should be a type, and the type is gonna be email. Then after let's use a ID. ID is also gonna be email. Let's choose a class. The class is gonna be input, and we do need to add a placeholder. The placeholder is gonna be example@email.com, and let's see, make it required. Okay, let's add a span element again here, and this span element should have a class. This class is gonna be icon is small and is left. Then we need a class. This class is gonna be FAN envelope. Okay, let me bring it here. Easy to see. Save it. Let's move on to the browser and see that. How does it look? Okay, so we do have email also. Now what we have to do next is let's add another div with a class of columns, and after this let's add another div with a class of column, then div, and class is gonna be field. Let's add label. Class is gonna be label, and for telephone we can say WhatsApp, but let's go with just with telephone. And then let's add a div here. The class is gonna be control, has icons left, input, and type is gonna be, what would be the type? It should be font, and ID is gonna be and telephone, and then we need a class. This should be input. Then we need a placeholder, and the placeholder is gonna be again just go, so okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so this could be the placeholder, and then after let's have a span element here. Again, span should have a class of icon is small and is left. FASFA font, save it, move on to the browser. Okay, the next we need is another div with a class. This class is gonna be column, div, class. This should be field, and let's add a label here, class, and it's gonna be label for select, and department. And then after this let's add another div assigning a class. This class is gonna be control, has icons left, has icons left. Okay, and we need div, assigning it a class. It's gonna be select, then again select, ID is gonna be select, and aria described by, and I should say select help block. This is for what? Let me show you here. In this one, so the department, and this is what we are doing now. Okay, so it should say that select help block, and we must add a required field here, required, and then after let's add the options. Okay, so option value is gonna be, I'm doing value, and here we should say select here. Okay, select here, and let's add another option here. Option is gonna be value, and this should be business. And let me copy this one, paste it for a couple of times. Okay, so this is gonna be seal, and this is gonna be support. Okay, so let's change these into capital letters. Okay, sale and support, and then after let's have a span element, assign it a class. This class is gonna be icon is small is left, class FESF a home, and let's use this small. ID is gonna be select help block, and the class is gonna be form text, and we should say please select the recipient. Okay, then after this let's have another div, assign it a class. This should be field, and label, class is gonna be label for text area, message, and here we need to create a message box. And then after this, let's create a message box here. So for this, let's have a div, assigning it a class. And this class is gonna be control. Let's go with the text area, and ID is gonna be text area. Let's use a class again, text area. So we row is gonna be 5, and placeholder is gonna be write your message here, and then we should say required. Okay, then after this, let's have another not a div, let's have a button here, button, and the type of this button is gonna be submit. Then we have to assign it a class. This class is gonna be button2, and is info. Let's submit, and okay, so let's have another button, and this button is gonna be type, and this type is gonna be reset. The type of the button is gonna be reset, and it is also a button where we should say reset. Save it, and let's add the location, okay, the map here. So for adding a map, what I'm gonna do is to add div, assigning it a class, and this class is gonna be column, and let's say heading 4, and should have a class. This class is gonna be title. I should say where to find us, and then after let's have a figure and a class, and the class is gonna be image. It should is 4 by 3. Okay, save it, and first of all let me show you what we are doing here and what we have to do. So here is the form we have created. We have created different options, and the message, button, submit, reset, and where to find us. Here we have to place the, or we have to add this map here. Okay, so for adding the map, what do I need? I've explained this thing in the previous tutorial, but if you are new to this one, let me tell you, go to Google Maps and add your address. Here is mine. What I'm going to do, go to share, embed a map, copy this HTML code, go to this, back to your code, write it here. It is in with iframe. Okay, I don't need to do anything here, everything is fine. Yes, I need to add some CSS to now it is here, it is below the form. I want it to beside the form, so let's go to the CSS and start styling this one. It doesn't need much styling, so here is the main.css. What I'm gonna do here, I do have a class of select, and what I'm doing here, select, and then hold on, let's say just a minute, select, and this is a select class, and then after let's have a width. The width of this is gonna be 100%, and let's use the iframe. It's not a class, sorry, iframe, and position is gonna be absolute, and let's use the top. Top is gonna be 0, right should be 0, bottom is also 0, and left is also 0. Then we need width, and the width is gonna be 100%. Let's use height, and height is also gonna be 100%. Save it, move on to the browser. Okay, no need to refresh. So you can see that it's looking cool, nice. It is beside the form. Okay, now what next? This footer. So let me close this one and let's go to the footer. Here we are, and for the footer, just let's say end of contact, and let's go to the footer element, assigning it a class. This class is gonna be footer has background link light. Okay, add a div, assigning it a class. Class is gonna be container, and let's add a div and a class, and this should be columns is mobile and is multi-line. Let's use another div. It's gonna be a class. Column is half mobile and is 1/4 desktop, not offset. Okay, is 1/4 desktop. Then we need heading 6 and a class, and it's gonna be title is 5. Let's say quick links, move down, and here let's use unordered list and some list items. So let's add a link here, and okay, hold on. Link, and link is gonna be home. I just want to copy and paste it for several times. What's going on? So I don't need these. Where they come from? Okay, so home, and then after home we need, what do we need? About. Here it should be services. Let me copy this one again. and this is gonna be team, and it should be contact. Save it, and let's move on to the browser. Okay, we do have the links here. Now we need another div. So what we need to do is to create another div, assigning it a class, and it's going to be column is have mobile, then is 1/4 desktop, is 1/4 desktop, and let's go to heading 6. So we should say that we should have a class. The class is going to be title, is 5, and follow title is going to be 5, and it should be information. Let's add some unordered list here, and the list item each ref, and what it should be. It should be some legal info, and let me copy and paste it. And this, let's add something which is lorem ipsum. Okay, and then after, let's add another div here, and this div should have a class, and this class is gonna be column is have mobile, and is 1/4 desktop. Let's use heading 6 here with a class of title is 5, follow us. Okay, and what we need to do next is to add another unordered list. So list item and href, then some Facebook link. So I class Facebook, and yes, let's add a Facebook here. Let me copy and paste it. And here in place of Facebook, let's change it to Instagram, and this one should be Twitter. Okay, let's make it capital, and this one also. Save it, move on to the browser. Okay, so we do have the links, information, and now we need this location. So move on, and let's have another div here, assigning in a class, and this should be column is have mobile and is 1/4 desktop. Then heading 6, class is gonna be title, is 5, our location, and let's go with the address. Strong. Company name, address, company name, and then we have to use a break here. Then after this, let's use the, we have done this before, but let's use it again, and it should be street name, and again break. Let's add the zip code and city, break. Okay, and then after this, let's add some font awesome icons, and FASFA font, and we should say that let's add a link here. I'm not going to do anything here. And now I would like to add my own country code, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And then after, let's have another font awesome icon, and here it should be FASFAN envelope, and then we do need a link here. So let's see, test at info.com, and it's almost done. Now we need to add some copyright, and for that copyright text, so p element, assigning it a class. The class is gonna be has text centered, and ampersand, let's add ampersand copy, and we should go with semicolon, a colon, I think, semicolon, yeah, I forgot about it, and then 2021 company name, and all rights reserved, and that's all. Save it, move on to the browser. Okay, so there must be some mistake here. This shouldn't be here, this should be in the next line, I am sure. Yep, it should be in the next line. Let's see where is the mistake. So we have done, yeah, we need a line break here. So for this, let's do this, save it, and yes, now it's looking good. So we have done with our Bulma project. It's a nice simple landing page. There is another thing, the last thing we have to do is just to make it functional, this hamburger menu. So to making it functional, let's go back to the Bulma documentation, and here in the documentation, go to the component, and the component here is a nav bar. Okay, click on the nav bar, and after clicking on the nav bar, you can see the different codes of the nav bar. So here is the JavaScript code. Just copy this code from here, go to the page, and here after this footer add a script tag, and the type is gonna be text, JavaScript, and within this script tag let's paste that code, save it, move on to the browser. The page is refreshing, and when I click on it, it gives a nice animation, and the hamburger menu is working now. Okay, so it's not difficult. Yeah, Bootstrap gave us this facility built in JavaScript, but here it's not difficult. You just get the code from the documentation. Even you can, if you want to write your own code, go ahead, do that. If don't, lazy like me, then copy the code from here, paste it here, paste it, and then it works. You guys can see that it is working. Let's see the responsiveness of this one. So it is responsive, it's looking nice. Service section, and this team section, contact, opening hours, the message, map, and the footer. So this is what we have done today using the knowledge from the documentation we have learned from the documentation of whatever we have learned from the documentation of Bulma. We have used it in this project, and it's a simple, nice project. Not in the very next, but in future we will use the Bulma extensions. And the Bulma extensions give us accordions, the sliders, the hero sliders, each and everything. Okay, so here are the Bulma extensions. We will use these, we will create a page or a landing page again by using all these Bulma extensions. Okay, so I hope that you guys like this tutorial, like this project, and it will help you to learn something new or to create something new. I'm sure about it. So if you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta la vista. Ciao, ciao.